Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 432. I am your Joe Dix, joined by Mark Augustiniak.
What's up?
Matt Sellner.
Hello.
Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games, brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. I don't know that I got it for Christmas, but one year, I think it was Christmas. Let's go with Christmas. So, one of the most surprising, I didn't ask for this, video game gifts I ever received was Off-Road Challenge for the Nintendo 64.
Whoa.
You know that one?
I had this Super Nintendo off-road. I think it was like the Baja or something like that.
Was that also Midway? I didn't realize that this was Midway until I looked it up today.
Good question.
But I remember the...
Oh, all right, Mark. I see your Super Off-Road.
Yeah.
I saw yours, the Baja. I just have a regular Super Off-Road for the SNES.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah, all coming around.
I can't get it. Now, were those gifts that you got, or were they,
That was my brother's gift. That was not Midway, that was Trade West.
Trade West.
So when my memory kicks in life, just in general, it recognized there was already a collection of SNES games, so I don't know how the majority of them were acquired, and I believe this was one of them.
Oh, yeah, okay. What was the best surprise I didn't ask for this video game gift that you ever received? Christmas or birthday or anything?
Two come to mind. Because I don't know if one counts. It's not a video game, but it's video game related. So the first one, I got a Game Boy Color game. And it was a WCW, I think, wrestling game.
Heck yeah.
Never asked for that, so I got it from I think one of my grandmothers, and I just didn't. I guess they knew I liked wrestling or something in video games, so I put 2 and 2. I think that was like peak Attitude Era or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I got a Sonic the Hedgehog RC car.
Go on.
So, loved Sonic, never owned a Sega console.
What was your exposure? I'm always curious about that. What was your exposure to Sonic without owning the console?
You'd have the kiosk in Toys R Us, where you could play the demo, whatever. And then going to my cousin's house, he kind of had everything. So that's how I would play all the Sega games. Would be through there or through my friend's house down the alley. So I'd played Sonic. All my Sonic was that way. And then the cartoon would come on. So I was always obsessed from afar, I guess.
Yeah, that cartoon.
Well,
it just had
both cartoons because there was 2 of them. You had
there was 2.
There was
Did
the
Jaleel do the voice for both?
Yeah, so you had the more serious The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then you had just Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's the one I remember with the chili dogs, etc.
Yes. And then later there was Sonic Underground, but I kind of dipped off at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, what was your exposure to Sonic as a kid? No, what was the gift game that you got?
I quickly realized it wasn't for me. Sorry. So I think people who buy for me, or at least growing up at least, were very, they knew what I was going to ask for. They knew kind of not to get me something unless I asked for it in that realm, or they were scared to branch into it for disappointment, I guess. Although I would have been thankful for anything, whatever. But
doesn't sound like it. If they knew not to buy you anything you didn't want,
that came out bad. But I mean, in more recent years, I guess it's opened up a bit. But seriously, this is the greatest video game related gift I have ever gotten. That is the one real life edition of the Jack Trenton belt. That is still just on display at all times in my apartment underneath a glass coffee table.
Man,
that was a good collab.
I forgot about that. Mark, you did that was
the red
too good, man.
Leather In this case, play.
Hey, that was credit to both of us on that. That was.
That was all your idea. That was good.
But also,
Yes.
I mean, well, also credit to Matt. Or else,
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I guess Matt did have the original.
if it wasn't for
idea.
him, we wouldn't even be able to make that belt. So.
Yeah, true.
It all started when I realized you could import images in WWE 2K19, and things quickly made a sharp left turn.
Heck yes, they did. Yeah, sometimes those fun surprises are just that, you know? The thing I realized that I've been chasing in terms of gift buying these days is, and this is, I'm going to say it, and then you're going to go, yeah, that's the whole point, idiot. But it's finding that thing that someone will love that they would never buy for themselves. And I know, obviously, right? But I had it reaffirmed. The YouTube threw me into a Kotaku Christmas gift guide from like 3 years ago or something by one Tim Rogers, and he talked about the Xbox Elite controller. It may have been the Series 2 at that point or whatever, but he pointed out, this is my favorite controller. I never would have bought this for myself. This is a perfect gift because no one will buy this for themselves because it's way too much money. But if you get it for them, they will love it. And ever since like that realization again, I've been like, man, that's the dream. I got to find that for somebody. So I don't think I did that this year for anyone, but you know, I swung for the fences anyway. Yeah, this is a question that came up this week in my life, and then I thought, what a great podcast topic this could be. The question is, what's in my top 5? And so what we're going to do for the audience is, I think, you know, at this point, we've been doing this podcast together for 5 years. We've all known one another for quite a long time. I think we have a pretty good idea of one another. However, do we actually know what is in each other's top 5? So, you guys knew about this a little bit ahead of time. So we've had time to write this down. Why don't we, I'm going to pick I'm looking here in the stack of Discord from top to bottom. It's 1, 2, 3, Mark, Matt, or Mark, me, Matt. So I'm going to do a random number generator, and then we'll go from there. So pick a number 1 through 3.
The answer is 3.
All right, so we're going to start with Matt.
Ooh.
So I guess Mark and I are going to detail what we think Matt's top 5 video games of all time are. Do you want to do this round robin style, Mark, or do you just want to belt them out and then see how Matt reacts?
Um,
Because I didn't order them at all. I just kind of wrote down like what I assume.
Yeah, I didn't order either. That's
okay.
too far.
That was my first question. Yeah, I guess we can round robin it. Excuse me. That would make it more interesting.
All right, so the first game I've got on the list for Matt is Super Mario World.
That would be a good one.
That is I for some reason did not think of Nintendo when it came to this.
I mean, that's fair though. That's
yeah.
yeah. The origin story starts there though.
Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even think of that.
So
The second one I have is Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yup.
Oh, I had the first one.
I went back and forth on it.
That's you're both right in a way. I think no, seriously. The first Metal Gear I just think it's iconic for the PlayStation, but also like the first Metal Gear I completed and actually like really played through was 2, so kind of like nostalgia purposes and getting me into the franchise was 2. So like they were kind of even in my book because of different reasons.
Okay.
The next one I've got is Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I kept going back and forth between that and Mankind Divided, and I don't think this is actually in Matt's top 5, but I think it's one of those ones where, like, if Matt thought about it for a while, it might eke its way up higher and higher. So, Deus Ex Human Revolution.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's same thing. Like with Mankind Divided, like they both had the pros and cons. Human Revolution has a terrible combat, like gunfight system. But Mankind Divided doesn't have an end to its story, so.
Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh, why didn't I think? Oh, idiot. Well, no,
Bonus
it's
bonus
specifically
points
Baby
you
Park.
can name the track.
Yeah.
I mean that's.
And this is going to be a mistake on my part because I would mix up the names, but Siphon Filter?
I don't know if that would be in like a top 5 or kind of like I don't know if I would think of that in the conversation. But like one of those like childhood games that has stuck around with me.
Okay.
And some days I would like to see them revisit that, but other days I think it's
I wasn't
fine
sure
where
if that was the one.
I think it's fine where it's at.
Yeah, like I wasn't sure if that was the one you were talking about or if it was Winback, and I get those two mixed up all the time.
I never played Winback, so
Okay.
it's definitely safe.
I always feel like Winback should have been a game Matt played, but
Yeah.
my final one is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
I put Bloodborne.
Yep.
I almost put Bloodborne.
No, Modern Warfare 2 campaign and 4 is better, but I spent 2 summers of my college life just playing that game religiously at night until like the wee hours in the morning. And then, of course, Bloodborne's the one that's got me down this dark From Software path I've can't get myself out of anymore.
Yeah.
Those are all good.
All right, let's do pick a number between 1 and 2.
The answer is 2.
All right.
Who was 2? I forgot.
Oh, me. I Discord stack. I just went 1, 2, 3. Mark me, you.
See, mine's stacked different.
Mark, you can lead off since Joe led off last time.
All right. I'm just going to get the centerpiece out of the way on the bingo board. Symphony of the Night.
Yep, we both have that centerpiece.
That's the one.
All right. Next for me, I have Tony Hawk 3.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
even...
do the thing, man. Like, when I had this conversation the other night, I was like, man, is it 3 or 2? And I was like, it's probably 3. It's probably 3. And I think it is 3. Because I think 3 had the soundtrack that I liked best.
I'm ashamed of myself. I didn't even put Tony Hawk on my list. Because I put another Bloodborne.
Did you put Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bloodborne makes sense.
I also have Bloodborne.
Yeah, I think it... As years have gone on, I think that like separation from it have cooled it off in my headspace, but it's still definitely like when I think back and I'm like, yeah, top 5. Like that taught me a lot about what I want in video games and what I like. Yeah.
Mark, you can go again because I also have Bloodborne.
Did you also have Earthbound?
No. Oh, I forgot. That's the one I forgot about.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's up there. That's another one too, though, where I like again time removed. I'm like, man, is it Earthbound or Mother 3?
Yeah,
but they also like work so well together that I think that they kind of end up. I don't know, and I played them in conjunction with one another, so like they. It's like right now, if you ask me like which of my Halos is the favorite, I'm like, I don't know, man, because I played them all literally back to back in a span of 2 months.
And it's
so
like
all of the ups and downs and highs and lows.
It's hard to compare because you like certain things about certain titles, like it's
But no, I think like classically, I think Earthbound. Yeah, that makes sense.
I have Doom 93.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Yeah, I had a fascination with it when I was a kid. Just through like actually I was exposed to Wolfenstein first. Thought it had a silly name and it made me giggle. And then I remember Doom being this like weird out of touch thing that I knew of but couldn't really whatever. And then in the last like 5 years, going back to it, really, yeah, that shotgun sound, buddy, that shotgun sound.
Oh my God, that's genius. So this isn't for listeners. This is not the Game Boy version. I'm talking about the app version, Pokemon trading card game.
Oh wow, yeah. See, this is exactly why I like this segment, because it was one of those ones where like I don't think I would have thought of that in my top 5, but
I knew I had to pick a Pokemon, but I don't. I mean, I know you like Gold, but I didn't know, or you like a couple of them, but I didn't know what was like the tops. But trading card game, you always came back to here and there.
Yeah, it's always like it's that, and I still like have that ping if I'm in a place what sells Pokemon cards. I'm like, I should buy a pack because I can redeem the pack in the game. It's always that. And literally, I still have the app on my iPad. I don't play it as much, but I open it almost every day just to get the daily check-in reward so I can get a free booster pack every 5 days. Like it's still
you have a
still happening.
Like you have a relationship with the game.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that new one, but they delayed it till next year, so we'll see. But that's a good one.
Womp.
This is the last one I have on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Tetris Effect.
Yeah.
Now, I almost had a Tetris written on this list, and I was going to pick, I think, like, the NES one for some reason.
Yep.
But,
no, the NES one is my jam, specifically, like, level stage 6 in that. That color scheme is just, like, something. There's, like, a part of my brain that's forever.
But then I thought about another NES game that I've always seen you go back to every here and there. Or you at least mention it. I don't know if it's just, like, as a bit or what, but, pinball.
Dude, no, I love pinball. Literally, that is the one game when I went to Japan that I was like, I can't leave here without a Famicom cart of pinball. Like, that one is... I loved that NES game as a kid, and then as an adult, I've only grown to appreciate it more with, like, knowing that it was a Wada's thing, like, the whole everything. But also, every good pinball video game stems from the work he did on that. Like, been playing a lot of Devil's Crush lately. That is straight up just Iwata's pinball with demons. Demon's Tilt is amazing, and that is just Devil's Crush, which is just pinball. Like, yeah, straight up, super good. And Tetris Effect, like, I agree. Like, for NES, I would have gone, or I'm sorry, for Tetris, I would have gone NES, but like, Tetris Effect is so good, and like,
Oh yeah, game of the year.
yeah, right. It is that good. Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good answer. Yeah, I think you guys got me a solid little list there. Was that all of them? That was 5, right?
Man, I am so scared
That
for
was my
this.
5.
All right. Matt, you want to hit up Mark's number 1?
I'm just going to set the tone real early. Legend of the Mystical Ninja?
Is for which platform?
SNES.
So
Close.
I had Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, the one on 64.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, Goemon gets love regardless. So you're not
I knew
incorrect.
it was Goemon, but I know nothing about the franchise, so I took a stab.
Yeah, like
the
specifically, like the 64 game has the strongest bond with me because that was like when I was first venturing out, just like trying games on my own. It's just like not, knowing anything about it. So like I had to get some allowance. I went to Best Buy. That cover just stood out to me. I was in the mood for some type of action game. Turned out I just really loved it. I even traded it one time to a kid and specifically got it back because I regretted making that trade or something. Or like, I can't remember if I traded the game or if I just like sold it or something, but I ended up getting it back because I was just like, no, I shouldn't have done that. That's
Pretty good.
What's your second one?
Oh, Hotline Miami.
Yeah, I also had
yeah,
Hotline Miami.
anyone that knows me, I bring it up at least once every here and there. That game opened my creativity and like inspiration up. Just the atmosphere of that game, the music, it sticks with you.
Joe, you take one because you've been kind of same.
All right. Well, this one's another. Gotcha Force.
Yeah, I would.
That was not a satisfying.
No, sorry. It's just because like I personally don't know what my top 5 is.
Yeah.
So together we're kind of making top 10s for each other. So in that regard, yeah, it definitely is in that list. But like,
yeah,
as we go on, we don't know where to rank games because we start getting passionate about other ones.
Exactly.
No, totally love that game. I just don't play it as much as I should.
Okay, it's time to pick a Zelda. I don't know which one your favorite one is.
No, man, I don't either.
I said Twilight Princess.
You would be correct. That usually is like my first choice. Yep.
Yeah, I also had Twilight Princess.
Specifically the GameCube. Well, I guess Wii U, but GameCube version.
Wii. That is Wii. Mm-mm. Oh, they did a remaster on that, right? Sorry, I'll take that back. I forgot.
I need a controller. I can't do motion control for Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. No, I agree. You can do that one, Joe.
It's my last one. Ready?
Okay.
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Is that my favorite? It's up there. It's definitely one of my top
I
Resident
had
Evils.
it for a couple of reasons. One, Resident Evil.
Well, yeah.
2, VR. And I think that opened your eyes up to VR in a new way.
You're
or
so
the
right.
way. And then... Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Joe Baker just...
Punching.
Yeah. No, what? You're right. Yeah.
So, all right. I may screw this up. I got 2 left.
Okay.
Mega Man X.
Just like the first one?
I guess.
It is good. I'm not sure if it's my favorite because I like Zero more than Mega Man. And Zero wasn't playable until like 3 or 4.
Okay. I'm in the ballpark though.
Yes.
That's why I'm
totally.
Ballpark.
Like if you gave me a Mega Man game, like I'm not gonna play classic Mega Man. I have no interest in classic Mega Man unless it's like
that. Yeah.
Super Nintendo or further. But like, yeah,
so I didn't know about.
Sure.
I knew you liked Zero. I did not realize, as I never played many Mega Mans, that he did not come until much. I mean,
later. he's been there since the first game, but
playable.
You partially play him in 3, but like X4, I think was my gateway with that. Yeah.
And then I also went the horror rap. I went Silent Hill 2.
I feel I don't deserve that one.
Okay.
I love Silent Hill, but I've barely played any of them. Like,
okay.
Like I want to play it, and I'm waiting for the HD PC thing to like get the install wizard update, so I don't have to mess with anything on my computer because I just don't trust myself. But like, the most I played is Silent Hill 4, aside from PT, and like, but it wasn't for 4. I wouldn't appreciate any of this. But like, yes, had I played that would there's a spot reserved in my top for that game. I'm making space for that game. So you're not wrong. You're just ahead.
PT would have been a good call. I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
I feel like yeah.
That was all of them?
That's all I had.
Yeah, because we had a lot of crossover, Matt and I.
Yeah.
It's funny because Matt and I were talking, and you were a little unsure of.
I was unsure of the I was going like, what franchises? Okay, but I don't know which one in the franchise. Like
no, but we
obviously
you got it.
Pokemon.
We got there.
I will. I feel like I'm obligated to throw this one in there, just for the listener's sake. This isn't whatever. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time.
So, okay, thank you, because you answered my next question, which was, is there anything that we didn't get? And I think,
okay.
part of me was thinking Ninja Turtles for you. I was thinking the arcade game.
Specifically the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah. So, that's the one. Matt, is there anything glaring that we did not hit in either of us?
No, I think you did a pretty good job. Nothing
Yeah,
I can
likewise.
think of.
I think you both did spot on.
Yeah.
You caught my vibes.
Yeah, there's definitely ones where, I'm like, I do love Sonic 2 a lot, but is it top 5 material? You know what I mean? Like,
Man,
I didn't even
Also,
think about...
If you constantly talk about the games we talk about on air, there's a reason why you talk about them constantly. You refer back to them or whatever.
Right, but at the same time, you never know if it's just a more modern fling, so it's maybe you're just liking it in the moment more than overall, because or else I probably would have said Rocket League or Dota 2, but I don't think they hold as strong of a flame as some of these other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocket League's weird because I could probably argue because the physics and the just pure gameplay of that really vibe with me, but Dota. At this point, Dota is more like a fun thing to watch than to play, because I don't have the 500 hours to go pro in that. But at least I played it enough and got the understanding so I could watch it, and it's entertaining because I know what's happening.
Yeah. And what was it?
What was I gonna say?
Along with Turtles, I still have a soft spot for the first Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah,
I was gonna say a Phantasy Star Online, but I didn't know if the not port, but the bringing over of
2?
2 to America soured anything.
It definitely made me appreciate the first one more.
Okay.
I mean, 2's...
Have you gone back to New Genesis?
No. It's just...
I've thought about it, but I remembered that it's an MMO, and I don't...
I missed the more simple side of games like that.
Yeah, too big. Well, this is our last episode before the Christmas holiday, and I don't know about you guys, but here in Baltimore, there's a local radio station what plays Christmas music all the time, and although it's the same 6 songs ad nauseum, and you should change the station or turn it off whenever pentatonics come on, I have had 101.9 just on in the car anytime I go out. So I was out last week and remembered this terrible tragedy, and I ask you, what is the Christmas shoes of video games? And I guess do we need to provide some background for the listeners, because neither of you immediately knew what Christmas shoes was, correct?
I did need a reminder.
Yeah, I've only been exposed to the name because I don't listen to a lot of Christmas music as it is, but then for this episode I did my research.
Oh, you did your research. Yeah, it's so I guess the brief version is it's a really bad Christmas song about a little boy who he goes to a store right before they close to buy. He wants to get shoes for his mom because she's gonna die, and he wants to get her shoes so she looks pretty for Jesus. That's the crux of the thing. So I guess, what is the Christmas shoes of video games?
I still can't think of a good answer, and it's been kind of bugging me for the last 18 hours.
Do you want me to go first?
No. So I have an answer. I just don't think it's very good. It's not actually a video game. It is a console, one called the Ouya. Just because that thing's just so sad.
I thought...
so it also... Yeah.
It never had a chance.
The Ouya also makes my mom cry.
And then just insult to injury, the one good game it had ended up being ported to a million different places anyway.
Yeah.
Man, now you're making me think of like Tiger handheld electronics, like.
Also sad.
But so what I've had is in these cereal boxes, General Mills to be specific, you would get like maybe one of 5 different CD-ROMs of Hasbro board games.
Mm.
And also tied with a free trial of America Online.
Of course.
It's on the disc. That's not a bit. But specifically, Monopoly Junior.
I feel like I remember having this.
So, Monopoly and Christmas have a lot in common. They both love capitalism. They both love making people broke and bleeding them dry. So what better than attack children? So, like the kid around Christmas trying to scrounge out money to get shoes, Monopoly Junior, you're also making kids poor and sad, and it's just not a good ending for them. So, and just
they got, I was picturing this kid playing Monopoly Junior, where he wants to escape, not be able to buy his parents gifts. He plays Monopoly Junior with his friends, and then loses quickly. And then to escape being broke, he is then broke in game, and as a double tragedy.
It's pretty much same field, you know. It's just all that same vibe of just awful marketing trash that just plagues everyone and every family.
Yeah, I think, like, for me, that's why I think I hadn't given this one a ton of thought, but I'm thinking about it, and I think the Christmas shoes of video games for me is Fortnite, because it's something that will not go away, and it's become tradition now to just be reminded of it, only to remember to hate it. But you can't escape it. Like, I heard it once this season, even if I hadn't actually heard it, because I didn't hear it. But even if I hadn't actually heard it, I would have remembered that the song existed at some point in the 60 days around Christmas, and then been like, God, I hate that song. Why was it ever a thing? This sucks. But I did hear it, and now it's just there. But it's the same thing. Like, I've had Spider-Man stuck in my craw for the last little bit, and then I keep seeing this thing on my Xbox store dashboard and every stupid thing that Spider-Man's in Fortnite now. And I'm like, do I need to play Fortnite? No, I don't need to do this. Do I need to listen to Christmas Shoes? Absolutely not.
Then you just see a kid do a random dance in public and like,
it's always there. It's ever present, and I hate it. But Mark, you I guess you both uncovered something else awful about this song.
what do you?
That they made a movie out of it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Mark discovered that. No.
Yeah. Because I didn't know
you
if
were looking
you were
up Rob Lowe pictures, Matt.
He was just in the video.
Because I didn't know if you were referring to just the song or the movie, and I didn't know which one came first. And then it's like, oh, it was the song first. If you watch that music video, holy shit, it's just one guy singing, and I guess it's his bandmates that are standing around him. They don't have instruments; they're just standing there with their heads down the whole time. I don't know why they're there for the video. They're just
emotional support.
Yeah,
like they all look. It's just man, and then. Yeah, so the
just
song
made
came
them
first.
go there.
Somebody wrote a book based off the song, and then somebody made a movie based off the book. All within a span of 2 years. And then, like, watching a movie was a fucking treat, let me tell you what. But the worst part was, like, towards the end, because, you know, it's following the beat of the song, so, like, you know what's going to happen. But, like, when it gets to the sad part, part 2, kids running back to his house to give the shoes. There's a kids choir singing outside of the house, singing the Christmas Shoes song, and it's like, you mean to tell me you wrote this song about your mom dying within this amount of time, and you have to hear that going into your house as your the movie's fucked up. It's
How much of the movie how long is the movie?
like an hour and some change.
You watched the whole thing?
I scrubbed through the middle of it.
Oh my.
But this movie is not. It overdoes it. Like, yes, it's like there's this because Rob Lowe is like the lawyer who's like blah 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 business business business. I don't care about family, and then by the end he cares about family, right? But like
Christmas Miracle.
right, the Christmas Miracle thing. It's specifically that they even say it, but like, oh my god, for him to get like that, it took his own mom dying, and then that kid who was buying the shoes didn't have enough money, who was wearing his hat because that kid was friends with his mom for a little bit in that movie, which that mom just never decided to like, not that she was obligated to, but she could have helped out, pitched a couple bucks instead of him trying to recycle a bunch of soda cans or something. Right. So he ended up being $5 short the whole time. This could have been easily fixed with a check. But you know, but then Rob Lowe wouldn't have the miracle. But like, you know, it took so much tragedy for him to be not an asshole, and it's like, this is unrealistic in my opinion. But it was just, the movie's brutal. It's trying to be heartfelt. It's fucking brutal. Monopoly Junior.
Was this Lifetime or was it just a Hallmark or Hallmark? Yeah, of course it was. Gosh,
you can find it on YouTube.
The Christmas shoes. So if the movie exists, what is the video game version of that awful movie?
I'm still set on Monopoly Junior.
It's gotta be a bad Midway game, right? Like this budget, not kind of jank to it.
Ooh, okay. I feel like it's low hanging fruit to pick Superman 64.
I don't think that's that low hanging though.
Well, speaking of low hanging fruit, I think that's where I'm leaning now. I don't think it's necessarily a game. I think it's more the pandering companies. The pandering that companies do today. So many companies now, it's like, look, we're doing that too. We're cool, right? Like we're good. We support you. We support whatever. And like, they're not doing it because they actually care. Someone cares, but really they're doing it so they're not called out for not doing it. That's the Christmas shoes of video games. Is the specific targeted sale that's happening on the Xbox store or something like that, you know?
Or like when your favorite franchise becomes a gacha mobile game that lost its soul entirely.
Yeah.
Or when a whole publisher decides just not to make games anymore. Okay.
Konami is the Christmas shoes.
Or does that make PES the Christmas shoes, because that's your constant reminder yearly that Konami makes games.
Used to make Goemon games
when they cared.
Yeah. My hope for everyone this Christmas is that they do not have to hear Christmas shoes or engage with it. That would be,
you know what?
Although there's a worse offender, which is the Baltimore specific Christmas song. I'm not sure if either of you have heard that tragedy.
Yes. Is it?
Okay.
Was it Essex Wonderland?
Oh, I don't know the name of it. I just know he says he wants crabs for Christmas, and I want to throw myself off the roof of the highest building when I hear it.
Oh. Well, I'm usually good at avoiding a lot of music I don't like, but Christmas Shoes is the only Christmas song I have heard this year, this December. So I don't know. Actually, no, that's not true. I purposely listened to Blink-182's "I Won't Be Home for Christmas."
That's a good one. Yeah. That one, the crabs for Christmas one, makes me want to cut my tongue out.
Not your ears, your tongue.
I just want to perform hardcore bodily harm, so I don't have to experience thinking about that song. It just sucks. I want to cut my tongue out because I don't want to share a language with the people who wrote that any longer. Just awful, awful, awful.
I don't think I've heard.
Tell you what's not awful. Halo Infinite. That campaign's pretty good. But as playing through the campaign, I started to realize that Cortana in all of the Halo games, and then we have the weapon in this Halo game. But just having that kind of AI partner in Halo is no different than Link's Navi in Ocarina of Time. So, who is the best Navi in the history of video games?
So, I thought this was a Zelda-specific question.
Hit it.
And I had ranked all the Zelda partners.
No, I love it. That's why I leave these things open up so that you guys can interpret it how you want and we can have some weird conversations.
I guess honorable mention is the superintendent in Halo ODST.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. But yeah, as far as my Zelda list goes, so I guess I'll start from the bottom. Bottom is Fi, Skyward Sword.
Oh, yeah.
Just go away.
Too much. You did too much. You flew close to the sun.
How many other ones are there? So I think there's only 4. Well, I don't know. Do we count King of the Red Lions in Wind Waker? The boat?
I would. Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, Fi is at the bottom. And then next up is probably Navi. Next up is Tattle from Majora's Mask. Because I like that dynamic of, like, at first, Tattle just thinks you're annoying and stupid and wants nothing to do with you. And then you start bonding.
Yeah.
Then we have King of the Red Lions. And then number 1 is Midna.
Yeah, that's probably the correct ranking. Matt, who's the best Navi in video games?
Another one I could not. I couldn't think of a good answer, but I gut right now just kind of came to me while Mark was ranking. Mimir from the new God of War.
Oh yeah. I remember you being fond of the character. I don't think I ever got to the mirror.
Didn't get very far.
No, I didn't get very far at all. Other ones that come to mind, I remember in the newer Pokemon games, you have Rotom as your Pokedex. Kind of acted as a sort of Navi, an all-purpose tool in a way.
I know what a Rotom is now.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the
backwards.
future. Do you know that, Matt?
Yes, I've been told this now like 7 times. Do you also know that Alucard is Dracula backwards?
What?
Fucking idiots.
Oracle in the Batman Arkham games is fantastic.
That's good. Yep.
That's a good one. Oh,
I think, yeah.
Does what's-his-face count in the Mordor games?
I would count that. I know he's like kind of part of your combat, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. But
I
I know who you're talking about. Ghost Man.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not too many I can think of.
There's probably 1,000 more that we're not thinking. Tails is a pretty good Navi, I think, because at some point you can play as Tails, right? Which that's pretty good.
Tails has a fun dynamic though, because when you play co-op, Sonic does the leading.
True. I don't know. Yeah. I think the AI thing very much works as that.
How far is everyone in the campaign?
Pretty close to the end. It's just
Uh,
every step that I get closer to the end, it pops up and it's like, all right, we know you're here and you think that this door is going to open, but you actually have to go in 3 different directions to go do 3 different things, and then this door will open. And you get through that one, and they send you in 2 different directions, and then the door opens. Yeah. So I think I'm close. But what about you?
I have beaten it.
Oh. Did you beat it, Matt?
No, I'm still at that spot we talked about. The tower of something after a
Yeah.
big ass tank brawl.
Right. I'm approaching the tank brawl, the aforementioned tank brawl. I haven't touched it since then.
I'll probably beat it this week though. don't see a scenario where I don't, especially with days off and things like that.
Yeah, I intend on knocking it out pretty soon. I thought I was going to get it last night, but the old internet went down and we had to live like Amish folks. We had to live so Amish, I put a Blu-ray DVD in the Xbox because I couldn't connect to the internet. That's how Amish we
damn.
were. I know. I put in, what do you call it? I think call it Steven Spielberg's Spider-Man, but it had nothing to do with that.
Sam Raimi?
It was, I put in the first Spider-Man Blu-ray, and then got like 16 minutes into it, and then the internet came back, so there's that.
You left Amish land.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even get to the part. He got bit. He was about to get sick. That was the part I got to. But, that was that. Is there a Navi in a Spider-Man game?
I don't. Do any of them have like Madam Web? I feel like she would be a.
Actually, yes. Shattered Dimensions has Madam Web kind of always checking in.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the best you're going to get with Spider-Man if it's not like self-monologuing or something.
Yeah, Spider-Man's kind of his own Navi, in a way.
He just talks to himself.
Yeah.
I was about to put, I can't remember the name of the person, like the spirit in control. But like, the spirit doesn't do anything. It makes, what's her face, monologue to herself in a weird way. And I thought that was dynamic.
Yeah. Oh. I thought you were about to say Darksiders because there's a similar situation.
I never played Darksiders,
So like, you're playing as War, and he has like some ghastly person voiced by Mark Hamill, I believe, and it's just like he's there to make sure that you're keeping up your end of the deal or whatever, or some shit. Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Our last segment of the week. This came up a couple times just in my life. Specifically back to back. So here we are talking about, I read one brand new comic book, and in the background a news story was playing that said, is it graffiti or is it art? Coming up next at 5. That was the thing. And then I ended up I got the itch to reread Batman No Man's Land, which, if you're unfamiliar with Batman No Man's Land, it is a story from the late 90s where Gotham had been hit by a plague, an earthquake, and in the aftermath of all of that, the United States government said, get hacked. You're on your own. And they they said, if you want to leave Gotham and you want to get out of there, you can do so by this date. If you don't and you stay behind, you're no longer a part of the United States. So they cut everything off. They close the borders. They have militant, guarding it. Nothing goes in, nothing goes out. Can't send aid, can't take people out, nothing. During this time, Batman has seemingly disappeared. And the way that everything's kind of split up is you have all of these factions of people who've splintered off to take over parts of Gotham, and they do so by tagging with specific things. So you've got, there's like big S's all over the place because Scarface has territory. There's little smiley faces wherever the Joker is. The GCPD has been taking things over, and they have GCPD spray painted in places. But spray painting entered my stream of consciousness this week, and I ask, is it graffiti or is it art? And let's talk about some spray painting in video games and your I don't know, favorite examples, games you wish would have spray painting.
I know there's more than I'm thinking of at the moment. I mean, but obviously the first one that comes to mind, Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
And, like, they even start with the disclaimer, right? Where it's like, I had to whip up the picture just to make sure. But it was like, graffiti is art. However, graffiti is an act of vandalism. Graffiti as an act of vandalism is a crime. So I like that they're like, yes, it is art, but because of legal shit, it's going to be looked frowned upon in some areas. But I think with language of any kind or any expression, I think your intent behind it is what determines what it is, right?
Right.
But so I'm always gonna think it's art. But if you're doing it to harm others, if you're
right,
in some way, I don't think it's art at that point.
I just listened to, there was a Video Game History Foundation podcast. What is it called? The Video Game History Hour. And it's from a couple months back, around September, because it coincided with the anniversary of Dreamcast launch. But they talked to someone who, what's his name? Chase is his name. They talked to Chase about the launch of the Dreamcast from a marketing perspective. And he shared a bunch of details about different things they did to kind of troll Sony, different things they did to try and get the games in people's hands and get people excited about Dreamcast. And one of the things they talked about was when it came time to promote Jet Set, they did a contest where graffiti artists could, submit work, and I forget what it was, but he talked about the fact that they had to be very careful with it because they couldn't promote vandalism, because that could be, something that comes back on Sega. So they had to basically say, in order to submit your designs, you had to draw it out on paper first. And it was weird because it kind of ended up not always looking like, what it could look like with spray paint. But they did that, held a contest, and I don't know, gave away a lifetime supply of Dreamcast games or something.
That's pretty cool. I mean, like, they had to do what they could,
Yeah.
The other game that I think of is Mark Echo's Getting Up.
Mark Echo's Getting Up. What is that?
Oh man, you never
remember the Mark Echo game.
Like you never saw marketing for this in any magazines or anything.
It's like orange, right?
It's like an orange X, like a big fat X, and you're just this dude going around just graffitiing, trying not to get caught by the cops or whatever.
I never played it, but like I remember.
Yeah, I never played it.
Cover and the marketing and stuff. But yeah,
I've seen gameplay for it, but never played it myself. But yet that game is just all about tagging.
Which platform was that on?
PS2. I don't know if it was multi-platform. I don't know if it was like an Xbox or a GameCube version.
I was about to say Xbox, so I'm going to say multi-platform. While you're looking that up, I think the first game I remember like tagging and stuff in, didn't Tony Hawk's Underground 2 let you customize something to tag? Or was that stickers?
Yeah, no, I think it was tagging. There was definitely a sticker aspect, but I remember tagging being a thing.
I mean, I don't know if this counts, but in Valve games, aside from Portal, you have an option to spray art on walls. You can upload any image you want, but it makes the spray sound when you do it, and you can just tag anything just for the fun of it.
That spray sound effect is just all around a great sound effect. It's up there with Doom Shotgun as pleasing.
Just a psh.
Just a good psh.
I don't know what other games do this, but this is a fun little not using graffiti for its intended purpose in a video game. In Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019.
Yeah.
I think you could do it in a multiplayer, but I learned more about it in Warzone when that finally released in 2020. There are some skins that kind of blend in more to the environment than don't, especially when you get into the Gulag, which is a little bit more dark with some lights. But while you're spectating in the Gulag like lobby, what you can do, you can go and there's the unlockable sprays you can do that have dumb stuff or whatever on it. Two things that I'm thinking about now. One, like some of them are like bright pink hearts or whatever, but if you sprayed a person like at the right angle or away, the hearts would go onto them, but it would get like extrapolate. So this person's like black like suit, the kind of skin that might blend into a wall, is now just bright pink and easy to identify for the rest of the round. And then there's another one where this is early one. I think the community has like figured this one out more. But people used to there was like sprays for like soldier type looking people that were like holding a gun or whatever. People would early on in Gulag spray that on the back wall as a distraction and have like someone like instinctively shoot at it, so that way they could get their location and then sneak around and or flank around and kill someone. So
that's pretty clever.
Not for the artistic, but more for the strategy.
I mean, yeah, you never really hear about it as a mechanic used in that way. You know, usually it's just purely cosmetic visual stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, the art side of it,
not for strategy.
The first one that came to mind for me, actually before Jet Set, because when I got a PS3, it was like January of 2011, and around then it was like right in that sweet spot, just before like the big indie boom hit and before PlayStation really embraced it, but still at the point where like you were getting some weird games on PlayStation that you couldn't really see anywhere. Like, remember, this is the era of like Flower and Fat Princess being a thing. But I remember like just some straight to PlayStation Network games that I just wasn't seeing anywhere else. Sideway New York is the one that I remember. I don't even know if you've heard of it.
I never heard of it.
But it was a platformer game where you played as, I don't know, a little dude, but you were like kind of like, remember the Mario Odyssey 8-bit sections where you would like run on the wall as Mario? It was that, but on sides of buildings in New York, and it was very much like the graffiti scene kind of thing. Same developers who made that Sour Patch Kids game, World Gone Sour, which was also a fantastic,
So were you like
straight to PSN?
Were you like a flat 2D character on like a 3D 2.5D plane, whatever?
Yep, exactly. You were like on the wall and moving your way around.
Oh, what's that?
There were collectibles and.
What's that? PS? Is it PSVR only? But PS4 game. That's all about graffiti.
I don't think it's VR only, but you're talking about Concrete Genie.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I never played that one.
That's probably the most artistic one.
It seemed like one that I wanted to play. I just never grabbed it. It just like.
Yeah. Does Splatoon count at all?
I think there's a lot of graffiti culture in Splatoon for sure.
Because like you get a actual spray gun.
Yeah.
I think ironically, the spray might be the text that comes above your head when you mash Booyah.
Yeah, right? And that is art.
Yeah, I think that one fits the vibes for
and
sure.
Squid Bag. That's an art form as well. I think just because it's been brought into my head recently, just one, because it's been such a news topic. But San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto, you're having to paint over your Grove Street tag over the ballers,
right, I forgot about that whole
and whatever other, I forget the other like gangs in that one. But yeah, spray paint green over top of purple.
Yeah,
it's like a hidden packages thing.
Yeah, just like despite laws, in my opinion, it's always going to be art. It's going to be considered art to me.
Okay, well, not the like was here, that dumb stuff.
No, like, if you're doing like actually murals or
legit stuff, yeah.
Yeah, even if the writing is all that like hard to read but very cool looking and like angled and like, like if it actually looks like effort was put into it and not just like, well, then again, not everybody can draw well, some people draw stick figures, but that could still be art to somebody. So if you did just draw like a quick little wiener on a wall and have it pointing to somebody like somebody's window or something,
well, we've got this week's episode title. Is
all-
Super Mario Sunshine a graffiti game?
I feel like anti graffiti, right?
Yeah.
You are the Fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the cop. Well, Mario is a cop in that game, isn't
Well,
he?
he was arrested and then forced to do community service
Oh, so he's Paul Walker.
because he thought, you know, the bad Mario running around tagging everything was him.
Right.
So the system got him.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. How do you deal with that? When's the last time they put Mario in jail? Luigi's Mansion?
I mean, yeah, if you count a portrait as a jail cell, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it, man? We're all just trapped in these images forever.
Well,
Yeah,
don't
Mario
worry.
became graffiti. He became art. That's what happened.
Mario Paint? Is that what you're referring to?
It will lead because in Luigi's Mansion he's like in a portrait,
Oh.
but like he becomes But this leads to Mario Paint, which had spray painting as a tool in it.
Yeah, and spray paint was always the coolest tool in Microsoft Paint. So,
Right.
jot that down.
And Dead Rising, you can use a spray paint can as a weapon and just mark things. I mean, it doesn't really doesn't hurt the zombies, but you can like color them and stun them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Combine it with stuff.
Well, speaking of Mario, don't forget he's dead, so he doesn't
Yeah.
belong in a prison cell anymore for his crimes.
Right. How did he die?
March 2021.
Oh, that death. Yeah, I forgot about that death.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. They brought out the vault and he's gone forever.
Yep. Was very much alive in that New York store over the summer, but disregard.
Remember,
Right, yeah, now all gone.
What is it? I don't know if this counts either, but Rock Band, I'm not sure. Specifically Rock Band 2, because that was one where you could like layer your art on all your instruments and stuff and your face and whatever, and they had tattoo stuff, so I guess it's more of a tattoo thing. But I feel like they had some graffiti related art in there, but Need for Speed Underground definitely had graffiti you could slap on your cars.
Yeah.
I remember that in the remix of Riders of the Storm. Just looping in my head. I remember, like there was
Old
some.
graffiti.
Did you ever go to the like website in like early 2000s where you could make your own like graffiti art like on a website?
Oh, that sounds very familiar. Was it? I feel like I remember one where you're just typing in words and it would make them in that cool font.
Yeah, but I think you could like color it and print it out and all this other stuff.
That
with
sounds
it.
like something I would have put on a binder.
I had like a GT art class. I don't know what else to call it. It was like a fine art. I don't know what. It wasn't an art magnet school or anything, but we just had a cool class with like 5 kids in it, and like 4 of them would only just draw like tagging graffiti art stuff in their sketchbooks and everything. That's like all they did, and play with their tech decks.
Meanwhile, Mark's drawing hentai, wondering what the heck's wrong with everybody else.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that our
They
conversation
should make more
next week?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Oh,
they did say in that Sega survey not too long ago that Jet Set was a brand they were looking to bring back. So hopefully there's something.
here's a kind of related. Has anyone played Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles?
Not enough. Like, yes, but not in.
So
Yeah.
if you play single player, because if you do multiplayer, one person has to carry the chalice the whole time, and then that's your area that you can fight in. Single player, you have a Moogle that carries it for you, but you can customize your Moogle. You can snip, you can give it a haircut, you can trim the fur, and you can color them with spray paint. So I don't know where the ethics lie in this.
Yeah, that seems like something you wouldn't.
Does the Moogle give consent? Because they're not like bothered by it, but you usually don't spray paint living creatures.
No, I've seen that before where, like, there's been people who've wanted, like, they have a wacky, unnatural hair color, so they want their dog to have it as well, and the only way to do it is with dog hair dye that is in the form of spray paint, but it just looks like you're tagging your dog.
Right. It's like,
And
it's
I would-
humane to some degree because of the chemicals.
Yeah, like,
I
you're
guess, or
not-
whatever,
yeah.
but It's
They don't have any...
It's just weird.
Yeah, that's a strange... Don't spray paint your Moogles, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Well, as we draw this one to a close, I will say for the listener that next week will be... Next week's our last episode of the year, and I think we'll do a couple segments like this. The week after is our annual prediction show, where we look back and then we look forward. And the week after that, we'll do 2021's Game of the Year. And the week after that is the start of Season 10. So next week, we will detail what's coming in Season 10, what you can expect from the free cheese, what's changing, what's staying the same. That's kind of, we'll tell you everything at that point. I think we're all really excited the further along we get with mapping and planning and everything. And yeah, so we'll talk about that next week in detail. Keen viewers may already notice a mild change that happened literally last night by accident. But the website has a better dark mode now, and I still need to do some tweaks. But yeah, when the podcast kind of goes into the next season, the front page of the website will change a little bit as well to coincide with it. But we're super stoked. This is going to be a fun project for the year. But yeah, we'll be back next week with that and everything else that comes. Until then, what are you guys playing the week ahead?
I was playing Dead Island recently with a friend, and that might be continuing. I don't know. Like, this is the most I've ever played of it. I am enjoying my time with it. There is some old jank and tropes of games around that time where there's some minor inconveniences here and there, but overall, I still think it's a pretty solid game to play in co-op. Yeah, probably that. So I finished that Halo campaign, but I still might. I mean, I'm still gonna be messing around with multiplayer here and there. I think I check in with that.
Yeah,
not daily, but almost daily. That's still on my radar. And then what? I know we have a Steam sale coming up, so I'm sure something's gonna poke out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I already started seeing some of the sales on the other ones. I'm like, let me get through Halo. Then I'll start buying stuff. Matt, what are you jumping into in the...
I got finished the Halo campaign, but I kind of went away from multiplayer for a bit to focus on the campaign, but as the campaign I feel is wrapping up, I've been playing more multiplayer than the campaign, I think, and it's just, goddamn, it's so good. Even the progression stuff it's not great, but it's coming along, and I'd be remiss to not take this opportunity to further our conversation about the progression system that we have every week now. I think the changes they made with the new playlist, or alongside the new playlist, work in a way.
Yeah.
They're a little bit better. But no, Halo. After that, I'm gonna. The world's at the palm of my hands. I think I said that last week too. Now that I've installed some things on my computer, but I think I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole that I've been long talking about on air that needs to happen. So I think I'm gonna finally start Metal Gear Solid.
Nice.
Going into this like Christmassy breakish, once the time off, things like that.
Yeah. Just a friendly reminder for everybody out there sipping on Rockstar energy drinks. December 31st is the deadline for redeeming those little tabs. So if you haven't received your super sick golden black skin for your assault rifle on Halo, get them codes in. I think this is my last can. I don't know if I'm going to buy more.
Sick Warhawk too, if you drink enough.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've drank enough, don't you? I still have. I got a bunch of double XPs just sitting there. Yeah, but I think I'm good on Rockstar for a little bit.
How many games have a Rockstar tie-in? Because last I remember, I played a Mad Max game, and for some reason that had a Rockstar like hood ornament.
I mean, I think at this point, Rockstar will put its name on anything that'll have it, right? Like it's. Yeah.
Did it not have Cyberpunk last year?
I think it did. Yeah.
I don't know if it's in. I don't know if Monster. Sorry. Oof, that was a bad mistake.
Careful.
I know. I don't recall Rockstar being in Cyberpunk 2077 for the 2077 seconds I played of it so far. But yeah, no, I think they had a thing with cans for probably cosmetics or something
stupid
right. That you probably for your genitalia that you can't see.
That sounds right.
Maybe a pair of Christmas shoes.
Oh, just her style. I don't know what I'm getting. Again, I'll echo. I got to finish that Halo, but I don't know what direction I'm going in. I've been reading a lot more comic books, so I'm like, that's kind of doing some things to me. But I'm like, I should wait for Gotham Knights to come out. I've been going backwards and trying some old like PS2 Spider-Man games and stuff that I've missed out on. Like I remember Spider-Man 2, but I don't think I've touched it in a super long time. So I was poking at that a little bit, but can't really like. I haven't committed anything. Like Halo's the only thing I'm committing to. But I still have like 2 unfinished Oddworld campaigns for different games, and that Shin Megami Tensei is still looming over me.
That's just the game that got lost, unfortunately.
Yeah. But developments on the PSX core for Mister have been coming along. He just put out the final nightly for the year. He's taking a little holiday break before he gets back to it. So still no audio, but it's like, it's enough where like I turned on my Vita and I was like, what do I have installed on this? Because I'm like, do I want to start poking at some Vita or PSX stuff, but on Vita or something? I don't know. Again, don't know where I'm going with it. But I've got a little bit of that itch happening. And then I had something and I forgot. I don't remember. Something PSX related. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. Video games are fun. I'm excited for everybody to tune in next week and check out what we've got going on. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you. Nope, that's not how it goes. Thanks for hanging out with us. Twitters, you can follow Mark at Algo_mental, Matt at MattyIce131, The Free Cheese is at Some Free Cheese, and most importantly, now more than ever, podcast at thefreecheese.com. Send us your feedback, send us your questions, send us anything. Podcast at thefreecheese.com. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Bye.